inspired you, made you think about things with fresh eyes. And yeah, does anyone have any questions or points for discussion? Yes.
I'll start this. I'm just curious to know, first, can you give me an idea or an idea of how big CamQuest is at the moment? Is it just one session with 40 kids? And that's just the thing. And then what's your vision for it?
Okay. Shall I do it in America as well? Are you interested? In America, there are about 7 camps spread across the country, because obviously it's huge. But they're all run independently. In CampQuest UK, we run all of them, and there's 3 camps this year. There was 2 camps last year and 1 camp the year before. And 3 camps is pretty much the maximum we can do with our staff. And we are, I think our capacity this year over 3 camps, there's 92 in total, so it's something like 36, 40, 32, something like that. Which is, it's bigger than our first year. Well, it's a lot, it's about, well, we tripled it last year, so let's not make me do any arithmetic right now. But I think there's about 92 kids at the moment. And in America, it's a similar amount of kids for each camp, about 30 to 40, I think. Although Ohio has 70, and that seems way too much for me. Too many children. And what was your other question?
Actually, I'll expand that. That's a 3-part question. Because the ultimate follow-up, what I'm getting at is how can we help you achieve your vision?
Okay.
So what's your vision? What would you like CamQuest to be? And you say you're in a room full of people who have a lot of contacts and a lot of energy for this thing. So how can we help you?
Well, ideally, in the future, in my mind, it would be something that would be as widespread as the Scouts or the Woodcraft folk or something like that. And ideally, it would probably be run more independently in different camps. So you would have local people running local camps and then maybe a general overseeing committee or something like that. So I guess probably, I mean, we had a new volunteer this year who is great, and he's actually starting up the 3rd camp. That's why we're having 3 camps, because we found someone who was, he had the time to put in, he had the enthusiasm, and he really, really wanted to do it.
Where are the camps?
The camps this year, we have our first camp in Somerset, which is our first 7-day camp. Normally they've been 5 days. And then the 2 5-day ones are in Malvern and Malvern Hills and Essex. So we're still very much down south, but because we're such a small committee and it's very difficult for us to really go much further north at the moment. We have had some interest, but we would really need someone very, very strong to say, I want to start it in the north or in Scotland, or probably not Scotland though, because of charity issues, but that kind of thing. So really we're looking for people who have experience and drive and want to start their own camp and have the contacts to do so. But other than that, I mean, one of the things we're really looking to do, and this is something that my colleague Diana has had a big impact in, is providing a lot of subsidised places. Currently, well, the 5-day camps are costing £250 this year, which is basically cost price. Well, no, it's a little bit more. It's enough for us to be able to buy them all a t-shirt and equipment and things like that. But we're offering subsidies of £150 for those at low income, and we're offering a few free places as well. So she's been really, really keen to get the funding in to allow people from low income households to participate. So that's also something that we'd really like to do. And if I had £50,000 suddenly thrown into CamQuest, what I'd really like to do is actually target CamQuest to a lower income area perhaps, or a certain school district that wasn't performing well. Obviously not for people who were religious if they didn't want to go, but just specifically to try and focus on that problem. So yeah, that's kind of my aims. Is there anything else that I can tell you?
No.
Did you say the age range is 5 to...
It's, well, last year it was 8, but this year we're doing 9 to 16.
So over 16s don't qualify.
We haven't quite worked it out, but we have one 17-year-old who is coming as a kind of counsellor in training. So it's sort of an apprenticeship to be a leader, which it's really great because when the ones in America that have been running for a long time. They've been doing the counsellor in training programme, and so they've actually have people who are in positions of leadership positions who came to the camp when they were 8 years old, and they've been coming every year, and then they train and they become. So that's the kind of thing we want to do.
So what is the qualification for a facilitator? You're not saying teacher.
Yes. Yeah. There really isn't any qualification. We want experience with children, but really, I mean, it's difficult for us because in a way, we don't really necessarily want teachers, although obviously a lot of teachers have really valuable experience, but we want someone who is kind of aligned with the educational ideals that we have, and is interested in sort of skepticism and critical thinking and philosophy and that kind of thing. So it really depends on the individual person. But because we've been so small, we've been able to do it in a very casual way, whereas as we expand, we're obviously going to need to set more parameters and that kind of thing.
And presumably male or female doesn't matter.
No, we try and get the sex ratio about even, and have the
Both
same.
the children and staff.
Yeah, because obviously, the counsellors are looking after them completely, so they make sure they're, showering at least once in the week and brushing their teeth. So we've got to have enough male and female staff to do all of that. So, yeah.
Can you say a bit more about the programme for the 5 days, let's say? You've got a balance of outdoor and some more thoughtful discussion and inside kind of activities.
Yeah. I mean, we split it actually, because we hold these at residential outdoor education centres that are run by the local councils. I think school trips tend to go on them, they have an adventure weekend or whatever. So in the afternoons or mornings, I can't remember which, they'll do things like high ropes and canoeing and just completely outdoor fun things. And then in the mornings or the afternoons, we switch them around. We'll have some of the more thoughtful stuff. I mean, this was the camp in Somerset, and it's right by the beach, and it has loads of fossils on it. So one of the mornings, we took a walk down to the beach and had a little talk to the kids, and then they all looked for fossils. And actually, it's funny because I was the one who found the fossils, but I found a really, really good one as well. And they were all trying to get me to give them to them. We try and integrate it as much as possible, but we do have that cut-off. When the staff from the education centres, they take the stuff that you need qualifications to do, like high ropes. You need to have a special certificate, and things like that. So we do get a little bit of a break, actually, because we don't get paid for this. So, does that kind of answer your question?
A bit more about the inside stuff then, about the discussion. Because you said some stuff about scientific method, and thinking skills, philosophy of children and so on. How do those sorts of discussions go, and what sort of things come up?
Well, we had a really casual discussion in one of the evenings at the second camp this year, and it was kind of on the subject of what are your experiences with religion. And it turned into one of those things when you get children of a certain age, they sort of they tell stories in a different way. It's always my mum has a friend or I know someone. But it was really interesting actually, because it gave us a very interesting insight to how they see religion from their perspective. And I think that's why we've come to the conclusion that we don't need to be marketing this as a nightlight in a darkened room, because they're being affected by religion in a very different way. And it's not necessarily a positive way, but it's not in such an intense bullying way, although that has happened to a few of the British kids. They've been told things like they're going to hell by their classmates, which is delightful, isn't it? We have discussions like that. Sometimes we do sort of indoor things that are giving them a bit of a break. We did some folk dancing and a little bit of music and singing, and we had a quiz at the end of the week that was fun. So it's very much secular in a very strict sense. It's not necessarily becoming something where religion is an issue, but it does come up because a lot of kids want to talk about it. I think that's I could tell you about maybe how the theme's working as well. Would that be interesting? I mean, last year we did the mind, and we had a guest speaker from, I think it was Nottingham University, come in to talk about her research. And this is absolutely current research, which, first of all, children aren't taught psychology at that age, and second of all, you never really hear from a professor. And it was great because she had demonstrations and things, and she brought the kids up to participate. And she talked for an hour and a half, and it was deep stuff, and I did a psychology degree, and it was still quite difficult.